Hey everybody, this is John from Pioneer Nexus MTG coming at you with a quick video. This time looking over the top cards I feel from Pioneer Masters that have been missing on the Arena client for Explorer now / basically full Pioneer on the Arena client. We'll cover various cards that have been spoiled as the entire spoiler set is finally out. We'll kind of cover cards that have been missing in some key decks. Some key decks that have been missing from the Arena client have been Niv to Late, Lotus Field combo of the various varieties, Rona combo, as well as some key missing cards in decks like Rakdos Midrange, Mono Black, and as well as things like Boros Convoke, Gruul Bushwhacker builds, and decks like Phoenix missing cards like Temporal Trespass. So that said, let's get into the cards I feel they'll have the most impact on the Arena client for Explorer / Pioneer. Alright, now the Pioneer Masters full spoiler set has been released for Arena, coming out here in a couple days. Figured we'd do a quick rundown of some of the key cards that have been missing that will help to complete certain decks or help to make other decks at least slightly more viable. The first one, Dragon Lord Dromoka. This one mainly sees play out of the sideboards of Quintorius combo, deck that we feature heavily on this channel, as well as some versions of Hidden Strings / Lotus Field combo, depending on which version remained dominant, as the Artisan's Talent version of the deck has become more and more prevalent. This card's seen a little bit less play in the Lotus Field combo sideboards, but certainly a card to note. It's very powerful in mid-range decks, especially mid-range combo decks that need some way to combat things like spirits, as well as shut down counterspells out of things like blue-white control and Phoenix. Chain of the Rocks. This is mainly good for the enchantment-based decks in the format, so maybe Enigmatic Fires or Enigmatic Yorion piles. Whether you're playing those decks, those are pretty much the ones that benefit the most from Chain of the Rocks. Some Boros-based aggro decks can sometimes take advantage of this, although those aren't currently a huge part of the format. But it is basically an unconditional removal spell as long as you control mountains in your deck. So, as you see, sees more play in Modern at the moment, but does see play in Boros Prowess and Pioneer, as well as Enigmatic Fires. Alright, next up we have Dark Petition, which is a key card that's mainly being played out of the Lotus Field combo versions, the older versions, featuring Immersion Ultimatum instead of Artist's Talent. This is a very powerful card, allows you to go find whatever piece you're missing, especially off of an Immersion Ultimatum, or go find your Immersion Ultimatum. In a pinch, sometimes I can go find a Lotus Field in the mid-game, but mainly this is your main bullet card outside of Mastermind's Acquisition and Fae of Wishes. This is the one that allows you to go find your key win con in your main deck, or go find your tutor out of your sideboard to win once you get your Omniscience into play. To Late, this has been one of the key cards missing out of Niv to Late and Omnath to Late decks, which are mid-range killers, very good against the Phoenixes and Rakdos mid-range decks of the world. So this will be a very interesting card to see introduced into the Explorer / Arena environment, and is certainly a deck that I look forward to playing quite a bit, as it's a deck that I've enjoyed both in Modern and in Pioneer. Retraction Helix, not a card a lot of people think of in terms of Pioneer, but it does enable both the Jeskai Ascendancy combo and the Rona combo deck to come to the Pioneer format, or to the Explorer format on the Arena. It was kind of the missing piece along with Mox Amber to allow to bounce repeatedly to get your chain with the respective combos, but still, even though this is uncommon, it is a very important card to those combo decks. Reckless Bushwhacker, this card mainly sees play out of the Gruul aggro decks, as well as the Boros Convoke decks. It did have some equivalents in the Pioneer format currently, or in the Explorer format currently existing, but this is probably the most mana efficient of the Give All Your Guys Haste and Smash cards. Tasigur the Golden Fang doesn't see a ton of play in the format, but in the past has helped to enable the Neoform combo, whether you're on the old Velomachus version or if you're on the more current version that allows you to grab either things like Atraxa, things like the 7 mana Toxic Gentleman. This will enable that along with Hooting Mandrills to be able to finally be potentially a playable deck in the Explorer format, although that deck has certainly fallen off in frequent times. but it is nevertheless a card that was key to enabling that strategy to exist. Caryatid, the best mana dork in the Nivk to late deck, helps to fix the mana. Alternatively, the deck was running Paradise Druid, which does have hexproof up until the point you tap it for mana. The downside of Caryatid is it's an 0-3 defender. The plus side of Paradise Druid was it's a 2-1 that could attack in a pinch. But having a basically unkillable, with the exception of Edict effects and Wrath effects, 0-3 that produces mana, fixes most of your colors. Definitely something that deck is missing along the namesake card Bring to Light. So this is definitely a card you will see some people crafting on the Arena client. Borg, not a terribly important card, but usually 1 of or 2 of in most Rakdos and mono black decks. Enables you to kind of fix your mana if you're playing a bunch of utility lands in the mono black deck. Enables you to kind of cheat towards your red sources in the Rakdos version. So important portion to the format, but a lot of those decks are able to function very well without it. It's just a nice supplemental piece that makes their mana just a tiny little bit better. And finally, probably the most important card out of the entire set, I would say, that is Hidden Strings. Basically, this enables the most powerful combo deck in the format that didn't currently exist in Explorer or very much struggled to play in Explorer. That is Lotus Field combo. A deck that we've tried to make work a little bit in Explorer based off of some other people's builds, but it definitely missed Hidden Strings. That deck recently got a boost in the Pioneer format with Artist Talent, so whether you're on the older Emergent Ultimatum builds or the Artist Talent, this will certainly be a card you look forward to playing, although those people that don't necessarily like sitting through 2, 3, 4 minute turns may rue this card coming into the format. I did kind of quasi-lie there. We do have one more final card, and that is Temporal Trespass. This card has fallen off in the Izzet Phoenix builds, and on Arena people kind of found a workaround in some different builds, mostly the Proft builds. But basically this enables the Galvanic Iteration Temporal Trespass combo in Phoenix, which usually is a 1 of both, or sometimes Galvanic is a 2 of, and Temporal Trespass is a 1 of. While not nearly as important as Treasure Cruise in terms of making Izzet Phoenix the powerhouse that it's been throughout most of Pioneer, this is a card that allows you to have a combo finish, which is important sometimes in matchups like Mono Green Devotion or against Lotus Field combo, just allowing you to get an extra turn to finish off your opponent with your Phoenixes. Ideally, your turn is kind of like Galvanic Iteration, Temporal Trespass, maybe play another spell, get a couple of Phoenixes back, smack your opponent for 6 or 9, untap, smack them for 6 or 9 again, and hopefully that's enough to win the game. So, important card. You'll probably be, if you play any type of Izzet Phoenix build, you'll probably be burning the 1 wild card to print to make this, but it is an important card to mention, as it is one of the bigger tools from Izzet Phoenix's thing that's been missing from Explorer on Arena.